March 19th, new moon, miracle for these signs. March 19th marks the start of one of the most intense new moons of this spring. Such moments rarely pass quietly. They dramatically shift events, change decisions, and open up unexpected opportunities for several signs. In this video, I will show you who exactly the new moon will activate a powerful turning point for and why this day is capable of bringing a real miracle. If you want to understand such moments before others, subscribe to the channel. Let's begin the analysis. Scorpio. Scorpio does not like moments when life suddenly starts moving faster than he planned. But that's how the new moon on March 19th works. It does not bring random events. It pushes you towards decisions that have long been maturing inside. People born under the sign of Scorpio begin to notice a strange pattern during this period. Things that previously seemed closed doors begin to open without much effort. Some people receive an offer that was once discussed, but then fell through. Others suddenly return to an old project and see potential in it that they had previously ignored. This is not magic. It is the moment when Scorpios finally stop wasting their energy on control and start acting strategically. March 19th launches a process for them that can be called a quiet restart. Many representatives of this sign begin to review their financial decisions, not from a position of fear, but from a position of strength. Someone pays off long-standing debts, someone changes their source of income, someone takes a step towards their own business. Another thing is interesting. During this period, Scorpios begin to feel that their intuition is working more accurately than ever. They understand more quickly who to trust. They sense more quickly where there is potential. And they feel almost physically when it is time to take a step. That is why the new moon for this sign often manifests itself through specific events. Someone gets a new job. Someone comes into contact with a person who opens up access to the necessary resources. Someone unexpectedly finds a way to earn money that they had not even thought of. It looks like a coincidence, but in fact it is the result of the inner maturity that Scorpio has accumulated over the years. Something else is important. During this period, representatives of this sign begin to behave differently. They talk less, they explain their plans less, and they observe more. This gives them an advantage. While others are still hesitating, Scorpio is already making decisions. While someone is still hesitating, he is already taking action. And very often, it is these quiet decisions that set off a chain of events that completely change a person's financial situation in a few months. There is one more detail. The new moon on March 19th forces Scorpio to take a fresh look at their social circle. Some people suddenly begin to disappear from their life. Others, on the contrary, appear at just the right time. This is no coincidence. It is natural selection of the environment, and when this process is complete, Scorpio notices a simple thing. They no longer need to fight for opportunities. They start coming on their own, not loudly, not ostentatiously, but steadily enough to change the rules of the game. That is why, for many Scorpios, the period after this new moon becomes the point when life begins to move in the right direction. Slowly, calmly, but very confidently. Aries. In the life of an Aries, there are rarely periods when everything changes quietly. Their path is usually loud, abrupt, sometimes even confrontational. But the new moon on March 19th works differently. It does not push Aries forward by force. It makes them suddenly see the obvious, something that has been there for a long time and which they stubbornly ignored. People born under the sign of Aries begin to act quickly and without explanation these days. Not because they are in a hurry, it's just that the whole picture has already come together in their minds. It has been a long time coming, made up of small details, conversations, failed attempts, risks that did not pay off. And now, there is clarity. It looks mundane. Aries changes one area of work. They abandon a project that has long been exhausting. Or suddenly, agree to an offer that they had previously postponed, but the consequences turn out to be much greater. It is after this new moon that many Aries begin to receive what they have been unable to achieve for years: a contract, a promotion, access to resources that were previously closed to them. The reason is simple. They stop proving their strength and begin to use it selectively. And in finances, this manifests itself in a very practical way. Someone starts their own line of work. Someone leaves a partnership where they have been losing money for a long time. Someone decides to work with people who think several steps ahead, and suddenly everything starts to fall into place. Not perfectly, but steadily. The new moon seems to open up a narrow corridor of opportunities for Aries. It is not wide, but those who enter it quickly realize that they do not want to turn back. This is the moment when the inner decision has already been made, even if no one around them has guessed it yet. Aries simply changes course, without unnecessary words, and after a while, the people around them begin to wonder how they managed to get ahead so quickly. The answer is simple. They saw their chance before others did, and they didn't wait for permission to act. Pisces. Pisces representatives often have a strange trait. They are silent for a long time. They observe. It is as if they allow events to unfold without interference, and many people mistakenly think that they are just going with the flow. In reality, it is more complicated. By the new moon on March 19th, many people born under the sign of Pisces are already tired of their old way of life. Work ceases to provide growth. People around them begin to repeat the same scenarios. There's a feeling that something important is being delayed, and this is where the turning point begins. Not a loud one, without announcements. Pisces take a step that seems small from the outside. They begin to give up what no longer makes sense. Old agreements, unprofitable partnerships, work that is based solely on habit. And suddenly, space opens up. This is the practical effect of the new moon for this sign. New contacts appear. A person who previously did not pay attention to Pisces suddenly sees them as a strong partner. A work idea that had been lying dormant begins to bring in real money. Pisces act calmly, without haste, but every decision becomes precise. Some change their professional direction. Some start working independently, without intermediaries. Some bet on their own talent, which previously remained only a hobby, and this bet unexpectedly pays off. An interesting point is that representatives of this sign stop wasting their energy on people who constantly doubt. They reduce communication. They keep only those who take action close to them. This is what changes the outcome. In terms of finances, Pisces begin to think more soberly. And they develop the habit of counting money, planning, not agreeing to offers where everyone wins except them. It looks like growing up, and it has a strange side effect. Opportunities begin to appear more often. Someone gets a lucrative job offer. Someone finds a new source of income. Someone finds a person who helps them reach a new level. The new moon does not make life easy for Pisces. It makes it honest. And it is this honesty that becomes the point after which their path begins to change. Slowly, without unnecessary noise, but confidently enough to never return to the old rules of the game. Leo. People born under the sign of Leo rarely tolerate situations that limit their opportunities for long. But there are periods when even Leo is forced to wait, to observe, to gather strength. And this is exactly the period of life that many representatives of this sign have been going through recently. Outwardly, everything looks stable. There is work, there is money, life goes on. But inside, there was a constant feeling that only half of their potential was being used. The new moon on March 19th is the moment when this tension begins to seek an outlet. Not through conflict, through decisions, the Leo representative suddenly stops waiting for the right moment. They see an opportunity where they previously had doubts, and they act. Sometimes it even looks abrupt. Leo refuses a role that no longer brings influence. He leaves the circle of people who used him but did not appreciate him. He begins to speak up where he used to remain silent. And a strange thing happens. It is after this that circumstances begin to change. For many Leos, this period brings financial change. An offer comes along that involves more money. An opportunity opens up to take a position where their voice carries weight. Someone gets the chance to lead a new project. Someone moves into a field where they have long wanted to work. This is not a gift of fate. It is the result of Leo ceasing to diminish themselves. They stop settling for mediocre results. Their behavior also changes. Representatives of this sign begin to look more closely at the people around them. Who supports them? Who envies them? Who silently waits for them to make a mistake? So conclusions are made quickly. Some doors close forever, but in return others open. And it is these new contacts that often bring Leo what previously seemed unattainable: influence, stable money, and the feeling that his talent is finally working at full capacity. Another interesting thing, after the new moon, representatives of this sign begin to behave differently. They demonstrate their power less. They prove their rightness less. They simply take their place, calmly and very confidently. And from this moment on, events begin to unfold, as if the world has finally recognized what Leo has known about himself for a long time.